Peace and welcome to the Atlantis School for Gifted Youngsters. Thanks for watching and subscribing to our channel.
Okay, let me show y'all this real quick. Okay. Yeah, let me bring this up. So, in terms of the universal flag of the 5%, a lot of times you may see a bunch of different variations of it, right? For example, you look at this flag. Okay, I'll bring up some images. Okay, you look at this flag, you see that the moon isn't above that 7, right? That the 7 is just superimposed right over it. Let me see if I can find another one with the moon above it. Okay, now you look at this flag, you see the moon a little bit showing above the 7. And this is a highly contested debate amongst some 5%ers, usually amongst the males, right? Some males would argue that the moon should never show above the 7 because the moon, being symbolic to the woman or representing equality, is never above God. So in their minds, they rationalize it that no woman is above me. And I don't know if they still have that kind of perspective in the bedroom in terms of her being above him, but at least outside of the bedroom, that's what they would say, that the moon is never above God or never above the man, right? But it doesn't matter what flag you're looking at, whether the moon is above the 7 or if it's not above the 7 or whatever. Keep in mind that when you're looking at the flag, that flag, you're viewing it from the vantage point of the earth. So you don't see, let me show you this. So you don't see the earth in this flag. You see the sun, the moon, the star, the 7. You don't see the earth because you're looking at this from the earth. So you would be standing on the earth looking at the sun, the moon, and the star. 7 obviously represents God, and that means that this is a God-centric or God-centered culture, meaning that God or supreme force and power should be central to the family because the sun, moon, and the star represents the family. The sun represents the man, or is the archetype of man. The moon represents woman, and the star represents the child. So supreme force and power or godliness should be central to the family unit. That's why the sun or the 7 is superimposed over the flag, but it also is considered a symbol of protection, right? Now, these are some theoretical ideas that I'm sharing with you. You come amongst some brothers and sisters, you may not see them functioning in that capacity. You may not see the God or the brother that is in that family unit central, nor being a protector or a provider. You may not see him superimposed over the family in terms of representing supreme force and power, as well as the good orderly direction or the principles and values that comes along with that supreme force and power. That's really an ethical statement that you're making. You're telling about a person's ethics when you're talking about that supreme force and power, not just this unbridled influence or force that you can just do whatever you want with, right? So you see the 7 within the circle or the cipher. So that also represents being able to maintain or to operate within the parameters of your culture or the parameters of your way of life. So this flag is viewed from the earth. And one of the reasons why you can say that is because me show you this. If we go all the way back to the knowledge degree, or the first degree in the 1 to 40s, it tells you right there, the planet Earth, which is the home of Islam, or our self-Lord and Master, is approximately 25,000 miles in circumference. So the circumference of the Earth, like we talked about in one of the other classes, is equivalent to the stellar calendar or to the Asiatic calendar. Our history is written according to the landscape that we live on. You can't write history if you're not living, right? So history is really chronology. It's time. So when it's talking about the earth being the home of our self-Lord and Master, it's also telling you that the vantage point of view of the family, as well as our universal flag, is from the perspective or the vantage point of being in and on earth. In other words, it's telling you about your significance and importance. Because some people may miss that. They may look at that flag and say, oh, see the sun, moon, and star there, but where's the earth? You're looking at it from the earth. Also, when you go all the way back to the 1 to 10, the 1 to 14s, where it talks about why isn't the devil settled on the best part of the planet Earth, the first part of that lesson says, because the earth belongs to the original man. And I talked about this some classes ago. Belongs to also means a part of. Like you belong to a family, you belong to a community, you belong to an organization, you are a part of. So it's also saying the earth is a part of the original man. That's also telling you about your significance and importance. Now let's go all the way back to the 1 to 40s, 37th degree that we went over. Why does the devil teach the 85% that God is a righteous and unseen being that exists everywhere? The first part of that lesson says Allah is God in the earth and in the heavens above. Again, it's telling you about your significance and importance in terms of supreme force and power. That supreme force and power is the underlying significance or essence of who you are as well. What differs between us as male and female is I represent the creative aspect of that supreme force and power, and you represent the creation aspect of that supreme force and power. That's the duality, the correspondence between us. But a lot of times you may see people that want to diminish the fact that that supreme force and power is not being manifested through you as well. It's also being manifested through you. We just have different functions within this physical form. So I'm making sure that I talk about this because when we went through the actual facts, everything that we've seen in the actual facts related to the planet Earth, the various different dimensions of the planet Earth. We talked about how the different body systems correspond to the systems of the Earth. So these actual facts are from the vantage point of view of the Earth.